Hello, Antoine. Welcome to your personal reading with me, Camille, from Millennial Tarot. Thank you so much for choosing me to be your personal reader. I'm just going to be looking at my phone here to see. I couldn't get anything worthwhile from the birthday you gave me. All I know is that you're a Scorpio, but because I didn't have a time or a place, I couldn't get out anything else. But I assume that most people or sometimes people don't want to give their whole birth data, so I just have to respect that, and that's why I didn't ask for any more details. But surely if you want to give me those details later, if they might be pertinent to your reading, then you can always look it up for yourself or ask me, and I could just send you an email. I'm going to be working with the general Rider-Waite Tarot deck only then, without the astrology behind it. So the question you've asked is about your money and career. I suppose open-ended question, since I don't know when will money come or when will the job come. I'm going to assume that you just want to know if things will get better, whether you are employed or not, or whether you are in abundance or not. So I'm just going to work from that mindset. So let me shuffle the cards here. If I haven't said already, I'm just going to do a past, present, future spread and see where you are at on this day. Present. Future. Oopsie, there we go. Okay, so in a past position is a past that makes sense for you, of course. We have the Six of Swords. In the present position, we have the Two of Swords. And in the outcome position, we have the Queen of Cups. So what I'm getting here from you is that you might have been forced to make a move or forced to leave something. Six of Swords is a card about, if you haven't heard me say it a million times in my general readings, a card about moving out of troubled waters into more still waters. And swords always represent our ideas, our intellect, and just generally what's going on in our brains. So this could represent leaving behind a new thought pattern, leaving behind toxic thoughts, but it could also very well mean leaving behind toxic people, toxic work environment, toxic finances. But I'm getting just the energy here when I'm picking up for you, and I did meditate beforehand so I could try to be as clear as a conduit as possible for you, is that it's kind of like a moving on with sadness, or you're moving on with a kind of reluctance, and that may be why you're reaching out for me to ask about your money and career. So whatever that may mean for you, the Six of Swords is also about traveling, so you might have had to physically leave, or you were physically leave your job, or on the flip side, it could be that you've gotten a new job offer and it should be good, but you're feeling a little bit forlorn about it. His back is turned. These two people back are turned. It seems like they're hunched over in a type of sadness and a type of regret. But you guys are making the effort to at least move out of those troubled waters into still waters and better things ahead. In the future position, we have the, present position, we have the Two of Swords. And I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot because I think I might be a little ill. So I'm sorry for that. So the Two of Swords always represents someone who has to make a choice, but someone who is kind of held hostage to the choice. So when we have to make life, altering decisions, or I won't say life altering, but decisions that appear big for us, we go back and forth a lot. I like to call it analysis paralysis. And there are a lot of cards in this deck that represent that type of emotion to me, but none better than the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is interesting because all she has to do is put down her swords and take off her blindfold, and she could walk freely in whatever direction that she chooses. So as far as it relates to your money and your career, if the career is associated with the money and you want to know about your career because that is what's going to bring you income, or if the money and career are kind of two separate realms in your life for right now. For most people, it could be a little bit of both, but you are being faced with a choice, and no doubt that choice could have been stemming from having to move on, having to let go. So whatever choice you're being faced, this card is here to let you know that you are making it harder than it needs to be. You can easily put down the swords, take off the blindfold, and walk away. What this means to me a lot of times is when we are faltering between making one choice and another, especially if we're just dealing with two choices, usually within the first 5 minutes of knowing we have a decision, our body has already and our soul has made up our mind about where we need to go, and everything else is just us second guessing. So if you do have to make this choice and this does resonate for you, you know what choice you have to make, and the reason you feel stuck, the reason you feel blinded is because you are just trying to force yourself to come up with more pros and cons and this and that and all that. So you do have within you to make the choice. The choice has probably already been made, and you can let yourself go now. So presently you might be torturing yourself. You can let yourself go because in the present position we have the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, as far as it relates to material possessions, now she is a Cups card and relates more to emotions. But if we take the imagery of the card to mean anything seriously, she is on her throne, she's well adorned. These are seashells, but she has these expensive engravings, expensive chalice that she's looking at, and her expensive crown. Now she is a queen, so she is of status. If that means anything to you, it could mean succeeding in a more feminine field. It could be succeeding with a business partner who has these feminine traits. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio are the water signs that cups would represent. So she looks regal, and she has that sense of enrichment that she has gotten from her physical environment. But who she actually is as a person, as a Queen of Cups, is emotionally stable. She's intuitive. She is a guiding force for people who ask her advice, and she is nurturing. She is a mother. So where you are moving into with this reading is out of troubled waters into more still waters. So you are in a good place, but then you're kind of making it a bad place to be by the choice that you have to make. And then what is ultimately yours is the enrichment, and what's ultimately yours is that emotional mastery that the Queen of Cups does have. Now on the flip side, just so you know, she can be like that smothering mother, like that helicopter that's always trying to get to love people too much and all that stuff. So that might be an energy that is pertinent to you. If not, then I'll just leave that alone as a tidbit, a little factoid about the card. But Queen of Cups really represents to me a type of calm acceptance about whatever is happening, and that's perfect. That might be what you need if you're agonizing over choices. That might be what you need if you're agonizing over moving on, either moving on away from something or moving to something. Could be that you're moving from something that's giving you anxiety, or you're moving to something that's giving you anxiety, and that is what is paralyzing you. And the Queen of Cups is kind of here to say that you eventually do rise above. As far as money and career, I think that this means that you were at a crossroads right now. You were forced to leave something behind, forced to move on, or maybe not even forced, but you just had to, and you knew that was the right thing to do. But there is a decision that has yet to be made, and that decision will give you the clear answer about what is happening with your career and your money. And should that decision be made, the Queen of Cups is going to give you that emotional fulfillment to know that you don't have to reach out and ask these questions anymore. And a card just popped out. I was going to pull one more clarifying card just to get you the message that you needed in under 10 minutes for me, because I talk a lot. But what flew out, if you saw it, I don't know, I'll do a little rewind to see if you saw the card fly out. So it needed to be seen, needed to be said. That's the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is a beautiful message, especially when paired with the Queen of Cups. If you look at the imagery here, there are two people, maybe husband and wife, celebrating with their kids. And the cups, I do a black and white video so I can differentiate between personal readings and general readings, but the rainbow is there symbolizing, the attainment of a goal, symbolizing things are okay now, and emotional stability. And that's the emotional stability that the Queen is here to give to you. And maybe the Queen is this woman in the picture, or maybe you're her king counterpart, or I'm not going to assume anything about your relationship status, but it could definitely be a partnership, whether in business or in love. And I see you guys celebrating, having a happy family, having a happy home. So as far as money and career goes, if you have a happy home and every need is met and you're moving forward and you have this emotional fulfillment, I see money and career and finances and all that working out well for you. So I hope that you enjoyed your reading. Good night.